everyone, my name is Natasha Ejaz and I am in the mix at CityFM89. I'm going to be talking about my new album, my debut album, Ordinary Miracle, Hire Moti. And I hope to bring you guys in on some of the fun things that we did during the making of this album and some snippets of my life and my work. There's so many to choose from. Just one song? There are 11 songs. Can I break them down all really quickly? No. Yeah. Okay, so the album came about. The album has a lot of music from like different timelines of my life, and some of the songs that I featured in the album actually were recorded and released before on a different EP. Did You being one of them, जिसका पहले नाम था Time Candles. It might be a glitchy भी था. तो इस दफ़ा जब हमने उसको recreate किया तो both Rishabh and I, who's the co-producer on the album, we'd worked on the song before, but we wanted to give it a different flavor, and he's a really good guitarist, so he decided to pull out the acoustic. Like, we wanted to make this like an acoustic pop song, but also, apart from changing it musically and arrangement-wise, I think what was really important for me was building on the story from like, I think the song was from 2013, I'm going to say. It was a long time ago. So when we redid it, and I wanted to build on the story and the narrative and also the lessons, like my personal lessons, and also, you know, like वो उसी जो मैंने उस वक्त गाने को कहने की कोशिश की थी उसमें भी मेरी growth और evolution हुई है. तो my favorite part of that song now is the very last verse, which was played by Danish Khwaja on guitars, and the lyrics are, and we'll go dancing in the jungle, playing games with our faces, sharing only fairy tales and all our graces, and may the ground know how to hold us in tender ways, so we know we'll find again a love we've never found before. And I really love this part क्योंकि the song is about like वो जो एक cyclical होता है ना जब आप let go नहीं कर सक रहे होते और आप, you know, you're stuck in a place and you're stuck in love and you're stuck in the space. I think for me personally the only growth came from realizing what love beyond our understanding of love really is. And I think because of this verse that I wrote, I started an exploration in a relationship with myself and a relationship with new people I was meeting, or it's the same old people but like just receiving differently. And yeah, I think that was a very was a very special point in life, and now I feel smarter. I've been writing music for a long time, and I think my बचपन का desire and inspiration ये album लिखनी है, और मुझे नहीं लगता था इतनी देर लगेगी मुझे. मैंने EPs वगैरह किए हैं, collaborations किए हैं, single record किए हैं, इस तरह की चीज़ें की हैं, लेकिन album पे मैं रुकी रही हूँ काफ़ी अरसे. So I think the inspiration kind of was बचपन से ये करनी है. I'm a huge music like listener and fan, so over the years, you know, I've wanted to do the album, but like something wasn't clicking. वक्त नहीं सही था, you know, it has to be, the collaborators have to be right, the feeling has to be right, and I think partly Rishabh getting in touch to put together a bunch of things was definitely a motivating factor. But if I was to say really what the inspiration is at this point, I think it was this idea that I wanted to share joy with the world, and I wanted to share reality with the world, and I want to share, I think Pakistan and the world at large really, I mean, and I don't want to come off as like some kind of like philosopher guy, but like मैं artist हूँ, मैं दुनिया को study कर रही होती हूँ और मुझे नज़र आ रही होती हैं चीज़ें, और मेरे हाथ में कुछ नहीं है, मेरे हाथ में नहीं है कि मैं बदलूँ कि क्या हो रहा है हमारे, you know, हमारे मुल्क में क्या हो रहा है, या लेकिन मेरे हाथ में इतना है कि जितने भी मेरी थॉट्स हैं, जितने भी मेरी इमोशंस हैं, मैं उनको एक जगह पे कंपाइल करके लोगों को पेश कर सकती हूँ, in case they need a relief of some kind, you know, in case they need to listen to something that they resonate with, in case they need to hear something that just makes them dance without thinking about it, you know, just I've personally really benefited from music you know, I've benefited from listening to something in a real time that need arose, and it can literally be کہ میں صبح اٹھتے ہی مطلب میں نے جاگنا ہے کیا میں لٹرلی وہ بالی ووڈ ویکنگ اپ ہوتی ہے میری کہ وہ بسترے اس کے گانا لگتا ہے اور میں تو مطلب لوگوں کو چاہیے میوزک یار, لوگوں کو میوزک چاہیے, لوگوں کو پیار چاہیے, لوگوں کو جوائے چاہیے, اور اگر میرے اندر ہے اور میں شیئر کر سکتی ہوں تو کیوں نہ کروں. میں زیادہ بولتی ہوں, سوری. The best thing about working with collaborators and other producers, definitely like developing trust with someone more than myself. So it's really nice کیونکہ میں کبھی کبھی کنفیوزڈ ہوتی ہوں کہ you know یہاں پہ گانے کو ختم کر دینا چاہیے یا does it need something else. تو اس لحاظ سے having someone that I really trust and value on the other end of things is really really important, and it's great actually because then you know I would trust them in a musical life or death situation. So اگر انہوں نے کہہ دیا کہ this sounds good تو پھر مجھے اس کے بارے میں سوچنا نہیں پڑتا, ورنہ میں سیلف ڈاؤٹ میں امبرائل ہو جاتی ہوں. دوسرا اس البم میں ہماری کوئی 5 لینگویجز ہیں. We switch between Punjabi and Urdu and English and Nepali and Bengali. اور نیپالی کی بھی ایک نارمل نیپالی اور پھر ان کا ایک ڈفرینٹ مور ایتھنک ڈفرینٹ ایتھنک گروپ کی بھی نیپالی ہے اس میں, لمبو. اور اس کے علاوہ دیر از لائک آئی تھنک وی ہیو 6 to 8 countries represented in terms of like the instrumentalists on the album, right? So we have people from all over the world. We have Latin Americans, we have Asians, we have Americans at this point. And the album کی ریکارڈنگ جو ہے وہ بٹوین 4-5 کنٹریز ہوئی ہے, ٹھیک ہے. تو ہوتا یہ تھا کہ میں گانا ختم کرتی تھی, میرے شاپ کو بھیجتی تھی, مجھے ایڈٹ بھیجتا تھا, پھر میں ایک سنگر کو کہیں انڈیا میں بھیج رہی ہوں, وہ اپنی اسٹیمپس کر کے بھیج رہی ہے, ہم نے سلو اسپن کو امریکہ میں بھیجا ہے, وہ اسٹیمپس کر کے بھیج رہی ہے. سب چیزوں کو ہم کائنڈ آف امیلگمیٹ کر رہے ہیں بٹوین the two of us. تو وہ I mean it was exciting because I didn't think it was possible to make an album that was like not made in one place or you know just a studio album in the studio. So I think that was it was a really fun part of like sharing all these perspectives from different backgrounds, and you know also like people were really really excited to record on it, and that was really nice. That was really really nice because as a songwriter I'm like, is this even good enough? And they're like, well, can I record on it?
How did Slow Spin get involved?
Slow Spin was actually exactly like this. I'd been working on, so I'm very active on my Instagram when I'm working. I share, like if I'm teaching, then I'm sharing videos about teaching, and if I'm working on music, then I'm in the studio literally doing lives recording, right? And I remember Rishab had sent me the update mix on ہیرے موتی, اور میں بہت خوش تھی سن کے, میں نے فل ویڈیو بنائی, لائک میں بیٹھی سن رہی ہوں. And Slow Spin, we follow each other on Instagram, and she heard it and messaged, and she's like, I want to sing this. And I was like, and it was like the weekend before we were going for mastering, okay? It was really funny because that was the point where Rishabh was like, we are done with the tracks, we're not changing anything, kuch aur nahi hone wala. And I'm like, but Slow Spin. And luckily he agreed, and we created some space for her, and she had some ideas that she wanted to put down, and it was a little tough because both Rishabh and Slow Spin were in the States and I was in this time zone. So unki subah hoti thi, meri raat hoti thi, main 4 baje tak uth ke between Slow Spin اور Rishabh کے ساتھ coordinate کر رہی ہوتی تھی, but 110-20% worth it. Like I would stay up all night again to do it. This is a funny story actually. So my art director on the album cover is Iman Shahid. She's a very 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 talented, multi-talented person. She's an actress, she's a singer, and also an incredible artist. And her and I've worked extensively together. She even did the Khud Se Baatein art, and she's done all of Gitara's work, and she's done all of Stupid Happiness Theory's work. So her and I have like a really good synergy. And when we were at the time jab iska phase album art ka shuru ho raha tha, to usually bechari jo hai na usko bas وہ تصویریں مل رہی ہوتی ہیں. جیسے خود سے باتیں کی جو البم آرٹ تھی وہ ویڈیو فوٹوگرافی میں تھی, ٹھیک ہے. تو وہ آفیشیل فوٹوگرافی نہیں ہوئی تھی اس البم آرٹ کے لیے, وہ بس جو تصویریں تھیں ہماری ویڈیو شوٹ سے وہ میں نے اس کو پکڑا دی تھیں کہ اب اس میں سے کچھ بنا لو. تو اس دفعہ میں نے وہ ایک اسٹرگل سا ہوتا ہے کیونکہ فیس پہ لائٹ نہیں پراپر ہوئی ہوئی ہوتی, وہ تصویر اس وجہ سے نہیں لی ہوتی کہ اس میں کچھ جگہ ہو کہ آپ ٹائٹلنگ وغیرہ کر سکیں. تو اس لرننگ سے پھر میں نے سوچا کہ اب شروع ہی ایسے کرتے ہیں کہ آپ اور میں بیٹھیں اور آرٹ ڈائریکشن کرتے ہیں, تھوڑا فگر آؤٹ کرتے ہیں کہ بنانا کیا ہے, اینڈ دین ڈو دا فوٹوگرافی. تو وہ ہمارا آئیڈیا ایکچولی یہ لائک ادھر کہیں تھا اور اسی کے لحاظ سے فوٹوگرافی ہوئی تھی. لیکن مڈ وے میرے کولیبوریٹر نے کہا کہ نہیں مجھے یہ اچھا نہیں لگ رہا, ہم بدل دیں. تو وہ جو تصویریں انیشلی what it was I wanted to look like I'm playing music on a mountain but like with these like super South Asian clothes, and that's what we had shot for. So now like as we're rolling out the single artwork, you'll see all of that like gear around me. But Rishabh was like, listen, I think we need to change directions for XYZ reasons. And I was like, okay, it's kind of late now. Also happening 5 days before submission. And I was really confused and I didn't know what to do because we couldn't no longer use those pictures for the album art. And we'd hired this incredible photographer in Nepal. His name is Ratna Sambhav. اور لکیلی نا وہ سیٹ اپ کرتے ہوئے نا اور میری چیزیں بدلتے ہوئے لائٹیں سیٹ اپ کرتے ہوئے وہ بس ٹیسٹ تصویریں لے رہا تھا. تو وہ I went through the pictures. I was like, what do we do? Because the brief completely changed from being like this concept album art to like keep it simple, keep it minimal. And there I found this picture between shots where I'm like dancing to the music because they're trying to get me into the mood. And میرا جو وہ ماتھا پٹی تھی وہ ہل رہی تھی بار بار. تو میری اسٹائلسٹ آئی تھی شارٹ میں اس کو ٹھیک کرنے کے لیے, اور وہ جو میں نے زوم ان کیا وہ اتنی پاورفل امیج بن گئی. میں نے کہا یہ اٹس سیئنگ ایوری تھنگ آئی نیڈیڈ ٹو سے, بیکاز I wanted to play up this like maharani-ness. I wanted to play up کہ بیبی اپنے جویلری نہیں ٹھیک کر سکتی, بیبی کی جویلری ٹھیک کریں. تو وہ ایک میں چاہتی تھی کہ آئے. And we got really lucky that shot was taken. Thank you, Ratna Sambhav. You are awesome. And then I came up with this basic crop that tells the story, which at this point feels like, you know, it feels like it was shot for exactly this album art. Like you wouldn't believe it. But yeah, we're very, very happy with it. I gave the new crop to Iman and she turned it into what she turned it into, man. She's very, very talented. I have mostly come up with the concepts for my music videos. Yes, either myself or collaboratively in partnership with somebody. How important do I think they are? I personally am a big fan of like visual content. I don't think it's so necessary that you cannot release music without it. But I think if you're someone that, look, also music videos are very expensive to do. So as important as they are, I can't afford them all the time. I get like, میں 5 سال کام کر کے ایک میوزک ویڈیو بنا سکتی ہوں, اتنے پیسے لگتے ہیں اس میں. تو آئی تھنک میرے لیے مفید اس لیے تھی میوزک ویڈیو جب میں نے نکالی ہے, کیونکہ اس وقت میرے پاس کچھ اسٹیٹمنٹ تھی کرنے کو. لائک آئی وانٹیڈ ٹو سے سم تھنگ دیٹ ایز اے میڈیم, the sonic medium is limited. The visual medium really helps tell that story. So with khud se baatein, I really just wanted to celebrate, and the song is good enough for celebration and joy and all of that, but then you add that element of like, but this is what joy looks like, and it's a really fun process of, mind to record and mind to film. And I think like some of the music that I connected to as a child was really like گانے اپنی طرف, ان کی میوزک ویڈیوز اپنی طرف, مطلب, اور یہ بھی ضروری تھا میرے لیے. یہ البم تو فرق ہے, اس پہ تو میں نے پاپ پہ فوکس کیا اور فل PhD کر کے پاپ کی تھیسس نکالی ہے. دیٹس واٹ دی البم ریئلی از. لیکن جب میں پہلے میوزک کرتی تھی وہ اتنا پاپش نہیں ہوتا تھا, اور کچھ میرا میوزک بہت ایکسپیریمنٹل ہوتا تھا. تو آپ جیسے بیورک کو دیکھ لیں, بیورک کا سین یہ تھا, اس کا میوزک بھی بہت 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 ایکسپیریمنٹل تھا, لیکن وہ اس کی کانٹیکسٹ دے دیتی تھی ویڈیو سے. تو اس میں بڑا ایک ہوتا ہے کہ اگر اف یو آر گوئنگ اگینسٹ دا گرین, اگر آپ کا میوزک وہ نہیں ہے جو باقی دنیا بنا رہی ہے یا سن رہی ہے یا ریلیز کر رہی ہے, تو ایک ویڈیو بنانا, چاہے وہ جتنا شو اسٹرنگ بجٹ بھی ہو, لیکن آپ کو جو آڈینس ہے وہ اس کو آپ ایک کانٹیکسٹ دے دو کہ اس طرح سمجھنا ہے اس چیز کو, تو وہ it's useful, it's great, and it's definitely something that like it leaves a legacy, right? Like of your voice as an artist. So I definitely believe that every song that has been written was in some kind of like spiritual line to be written, and we as songwriters, it's a matter of being in the moment کہ کس نے پکڑ لیا وہ والا گانا, اس کی ایگزسٹنس ہونی ہے, اس کی ایگزسٹنس اگر نہ ہوتی تو وہ آپ کو نہ آتا. میں بچپن سے لکھ رہی ہوں تو اس وجہ سے آئی تھنک میں نے وہ اپنی ٹریننگ بہت کی ہوئی ہے کہ میں ہر وقت نوٹس لے رہی ہوتی ہوں یا ہر وقت وائس نوٹس بنا رہی ہوتی ہوں. سو I'm not sure where the music comes from, but it definitely comes to me during random stuff. And in that moment, it's very important for me to take the journal out or my phone out and record that basic idea and then build on it later. But if I forget it then, like, it'll never come back to me. You know, ہیرے موتی actually album میں گانا ہے Years Go By, جو at one point میں consider کری تھی album میں نہ ڈالنا کیونکہ اس کے ساتھ کوئی like issue ہو گیا تھا. تو جب ہیرے موتی میں نے لکھا تھا, if you notice on the album, the Years Go By melody is 50,000 years go by, I still love you plenty. And many months later, I was very frustrated and upset, and I sat down and I didn't sit down to write Hire Moti, but I was definitely sitting down to rewrite something that has the same melodic phrasing. And that's where... So I tried that every time I say goodbye. So it's the same. 50,000 years go by. So they both start at the same place, but 50,000 years goes here, and Hire Moti just keeps going down. You know, so it's really like, it's really different things, and I enjoy solving puzzles, and I really just, I think puzzle solving میں کافی ساری چیزیں بن جاتی ہیں مجھ سے. اور ہیرے موتی کی ارینجمنٹ جو تھی وہ بہت سمپل تھی. وہ بلڈ صرف اس وجہ سے ہوئی ہے کیونکہ مجھے یہ گانا پرفارم کرنا تھا ایک کوائر کے ساتھ جو میرے اسٹوڈنٹس تھے, اور obviously جب انیشل ریکارڈنگ تھی وہ 1.5 منٹ کی تھی, وہ پورا گانا نہیں تھا, بٹ مجھے اس کو ایکسپینڈ کرنا پڑ رہا تھا اور کوائر کے لیے جگہ بنانی پڑ رہی تھی. تو یہ جو ارینجمنٹ نکلی ہے یہ ایکچولی اس وجہ سے نکلی ہے. اور تھینک یو KGC choir, pop rock choir, like you made me one of my favorite songs. I made it myself, but like it was for you guys. So yeah, it's really different things at different times. I think every human being on the planet should be performance art doing. What was that sentence? Sorry, grammar forgot. It's a big question, but it's also really, really simple in that جب آپ میوزک پڑھتے ہو یا آپ کوئی بھی آرٹ فارم, اسپیشلی میوزک جب آپ پڑھتے ہو, تو ایز اے سنگر فار انسٹنس, if you learn how to sing or you just sing, the very act of singing engages both your left and right hemispheres of your brain, number one, right? Apart from that, learning a musical instrument, for instance, it engages more parts of your brain than studying mathematics does, because it's both maths and what's it called, muscle memory and motion, right? So similarly, dance has similar effects on mind body, and for me, I think that the arts and performance arts ought not to be limited to those that are in the profession of it. I think performance arts should be prevalent in schools. It should be prevalent on the streets, public spaces, everywhere, and everyone should have access to it, whether they become multi-platinum singer-songwriter or not. Not that I am yet, but you know, if I say it now, maybe it'll happen in 5 years. But کہنے کا مقصد یہ کہ آپ کو اس کو ایز اے کریئر لینے کی کوئی ضرورت نہیں ہے, لیکن اگر آپ اس کی پریکٹس اپنے لیے کریں نا, تو آپ حیران ہو جائیں گے کہ آپ کی اپنی زندگی میں کتنے فرق, لائک ایک آسانی اور جوائے سا آ رہا ہے کیونکہ آپ ریلیز کر رہے ہو. You know, regularly dancing, like there's this whole culture in Berlin, for instance, they leave on Fridays for clubs and they come back on Monday morning and go straight to work, and I'm like, but how do you do that? Isn't that tiring? And actually what's happening is they go through a heavy work week, they start dancing on Friday, and by the time they go back to work on Monday, they've like released all of their tension and all of their stresses, you know. So just understanding that fact of it, I think I am a huge proponent for the performance arts of all kinds to just kind of need based actually. There's a song called Dog Years by Maggie Rogers. Also Steam by, I'm going to say, Leon Bridges. And yeah, yes, I'm very vain. I'm also listening regularly to Ordinary Miracle, Hare by Natasha Humera Ejaz. Please come to watch me.
First ever song you remember listening to and falling in love with?
दिल है छोटा सा छोटी सी आशा मस्ती भर मन की भोली सी आशा चांद तारों को ए आर रहमान मैंने ना 3rd grade था या 5th grade था जहाँ पे हमें लिखना था write an essay about your hero. I was very young and I wrote about A.R. Rahman. Roja was basically the album that came out जब मैं कोई बहुत छोटी थी, याद नहीं है, 94 में निकली थी. तो yeah, first Mad Love. Oh, जहाँ मैं जाती हूँ वहीं चले आते हो चोरी चोरी मेरे दिल में समाते हो ये तो बताओ कि तुम मेरे कौन हो. मेरी बर्थडे थी और मेरे नाना अब्बू ने फुल अनाउंस किया था कि अब आ रही हैं नताशा एजाज परफॉर्म करने. उन्होंने कर्टन खोला और नताशा निकली और नाची घुंघरू तोड़ के.
First collaboration with an international act or acts, and what was the experience like?
First collaboration with the first collaboration with an international act was probably Rishabh back in 2012. That's when we did In My Get Glitchy. But also since then I've worked with the Malaysian Philharmonic Orchestra and I've worked with another orchestra in Norway to do some of my music, and those have been fantastic experiences. Like ऊपर से Norwegians ने तो मेरे गाने लेके उनको एक orchestral arrangement दे दी थी and I felt like an evil genius. It was great.
Okay, a lot of people don't know this. I mean, a lot of people here didn't know this. In 2018, you lent your vocals to an animated character. Was that a first?
No, that was a first feature. But my first was voice acting for PTV puppet shows when I was 7. It was fun. I love it.
Cool. Any future projects?
Yes, I'm sending I'm sending an audition to Disney, Pixar. I'm just going to do cold emails and be like, hire me. I'm fantastic.
I thought you were going to say 89. I was like, oh shit.
नहीं, बट मेरा रियली है एक डिज़ायर कि मैं डिज्नी को भेजूँ. मैं हूँ थोड़ी डिज्नी प्रिंसेस टाइप. सुनाऊँ? एक सेकंड सुने. A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no or where to go or say we're only dreaming. A whole new world. So yeah, I mean, ये करना है. ये तो peak कर रहा है, bro.
We'll send this. We'll send your audition in.
Thanks.
All right, we're done with In the Mix.
Okay.
We're going to move on. Since we're in the flow, we're going to move on to Best Job in the World.
Oh my God.
Okay, so inspire young people to do what you do.
Hi everyone, my name is Natasha Humera Ejaz and this is me on Best Job in the World with CityFM89. My jobs in this world include singing, songwriting, producing, teaching, doing some management and programming work for like festivals and things like that, curation. I also now run a label and a publishing house and a production house, so there's that. And I also act and I also dance, but I don't consider them like my primary jobs, but I do them when the right project comes around. So if it's a good play and if it's a good film, that's why I did Alayar. I also recently did Gulabo Rani with Usman Mukhtar, which is a horror film, and I am very, very, very interesting in it. Y'all should go watch it. It's on YouTube. Anyway, pick a job that is going to I think so definitely اور یہ I mean یہ ہے تو سب کے لیے, لیکن as a girl, as a woman, it gives me great joy that I get to perform on stage and write music. And I think جو female perspective ہے وہ over the years اب تھوڑا کھلنا شروع ہوا ہے, بٹ میوزک میں جو فیمیل پرسپیکٹیو ہے نا اس کی اہمیت سمجھ نہیں آ رہی تھی لوگوں کو until the industry picked up and women started making music in Pakistan, which like it's a huge community now, and I'm so happy because there was a time there were like only 3 women doing it, you know, and I'm talking about like the newer generation. There were only 3 women. Obviously we've had like the greats, but I think اگر آپ ایسے انسان ہو جو سوچتا رہتا ہے تو لکھنے کی کوشش کر لو. You know what I mean? Like for me the best job in the world is essentially the one that I align with easiest, which is that what were my ways of doing things in life. Like بچپن سے میں سوچتی بہت تھی, میں گاتی بہت تھی, میں میوزک بناتی رہتی تھی, تو it just made sense کہ میں وہی کروں. بچپن میں نا ایکچولی ہمیں ہمارے انٹرسٹس کو ڈائیورٹ کر دیا جاتا ہے. لیکن آئی واز بورن ان اے فیملی جو کہ آرٹسٹس تھیں ساری, تو جس نے ڈرائنگ کرنی تھی اس کو اماں ڈرائنگ کرنے دیتی تھی, جس نے گانا گانا تھا اس کو اماں گانا گانے دیتی تھیں. یہ ایک بڑا امپورٹنٹ ایسپیکٹ ہے, کیونکہ میں جب بڑی ہو رہی تھی میں دیکھ رہی تھی میں تو بہت کمفرٹیبل ہوں اپنی اسکن میں, تو میرے ارد گرد لوگ ہیں وہ کیوں نہیں ہیں, کیونکہ ان کے جو بھی بچپن کے انٹرسٹس تھے ان کو پرابیبلی ڈائیورٹ کر دیا گیا تھا کہ مجھے ڈرائنگ کا شوق ہے لیکن آپ پلیز میتھس کر لیں کیونکہ آپ نے ایونچولی جا کے انجینئر بننا ہے. لیکن ہوتا یہ ہے کہ ہمارا جو ہم یو نو ایوری ہیومن بینگ از بورن ڈفرنٹ, اینڈ ایوری ہیومن بینگ از بورن ود اے سرٹن سیٹ آف things that make them them. And as a teacher میرا سب سے بڑا aim یہ ہوتا ہے کہ میں when I before teaching my students I want to get to know my students and I want to know how their mind works. I want to know what their heart gets drawn to. And a lot of the times once you have those kind of conversations with people, you can start fleshing out what it is that they would be, what life would be easiest for them. And I think as a career option, and I know I'm going to probably like anger a lot of parents out there, I'm sorry, but really the best thing for your kids is for them to do what they are aligned and willing to and wanting to do. What you can inculcate in them, for instance, is okay, so you want to become a musician, how do we streamline this and make it so that you know that there is some kind of viability to it. So I'll give you an example. میں ہمیشہ سے سانگ رائٹر اور سنگر بننا چاہتی تھی, اور جب میں بڑی ہو رہی تھی تو میں باقی پروڈیوسرس کے ساتھ کام کر رہی تھی, لیکن ان کو سمجھ نہیں آ رہی تھی نیسسریلی کہ میں نے بنانا کیا ہے. میرا پروڈکشن سیکھنے کے 2 ریزنس تھے. ایک یہ کہ جو میرے آئیڈیاز ہیں وہ میں ایکوریٹلی اب پین ڈاؤن کرنا شروع کر دوں, تو ٹیکنیکل انڈیپینڈنس بہت ضروری ہوتی ہے ایک آرٹسٹ کے لیے. دوسرا, I should always have something to fall back on, because what I'm doing is a hit and miss. Fact. And I'm not the only one. Like there are big artists around the world that have seen a lot of success, but they've seen a lot of falls also. ٹھیک ہے, تو یہ تو part and parcel of a recording performance career ہے. لیکن اس کے ساتھ ساتھ کیونکہ میں نے پروڈکشن پڑھی ہوئی تھی اور کیونکہ مجھے ٹیچنگ کا شوق ہے, میرے پاس کبھی نوکری کی کمی نہیں ہوئی. تو میں بہت ڈیلیجنٹ اور بہت پریگمیٹک طریقے سے یہ آرٹ بنا رہی ہوں کہ میں نے اپنے آپ کو ایک تو بائی دا وے میں نے اور بہت جابس کر سکتی تھی. I was even working in 89. I was marketing for 89. I was an RJ here. And there was this shift in me where I was like, look, I want to make it as a musician, so I have to limit myself to earn only through music. This was a challenge I gave myself at like 19 because why not? And so those choices started shifting for me. I went from marketing from 89 to working at Head Start, a school, as an extracurriculars coordinator. So it brought me to music and dance, right? And after that, I used to go to classes to learn singing. تو کہنے کا مقصد یہ ہے کہ یہ جو میں ابھی باتیں کر رہی ہوں, لائک دس از اٹس ناٹ لائک کہ میں اور کچھ نہیں کرتی زندگی میں, بس میں میوزک لکھتی ہوں, میں انتظار کرتی ہوں کہ مجھے وہی ہو اور پھر گانا آئے اور پھر دنیا بس پاگل ہو جائے. ایسے بالکل نہیں چلتا. آپ کو اپنا ایک سیکیورٹی بنانی پڑے گی جو کہ سائڈ پہ پیرلل چلے, اور آپ پیرلل کریئرس کا بی ریڈی فار اٹ, اینڈ اٹس گوئنگ ٹو ہیلپ یو, بیکاز ون ڈے لائک آئی سیڈ I was writing a lot of songs, but I wasn't releasing any of them. And at some point I stopped writing songs also. What are you going to do when you stop writing songs? Are you not going to have an office to go to? That shouldn't be the case. What should be the case is that you learn to support yourself to do the things that you love. And once you keep channeling that, I 100% believe that there's an audience for every individual out there. And you just have to be consistent, and you just have to love what you do and respect what you do. And respect, before you respect what you do and arts and all of that, you have to respect yourself as a human. And you have to respect yourself that you would need a daily routine to be a normal functioning human being, so that there's no spillover of your dreams and your desires and your wants on the people around you.
Why is your job the best in the world?
Because I'm the best in the world. Why is my job the best in the world? کیونکہ میں aligned ہوں. میں اپنی body, soul, mind, heart سے aligned ہوں. That's why it's the best job in the world.
And last, a message for young people out there. One day can do what you do.
There's nobody like you. There's literally 0 people in the world that are exactly like you. Love yourself, respect yourself, learn to listen to your voice inside. Learn when to stop. Learn when to tell other people to stop. What's the word? Overpowering your voice. And as long as you are functioning from a place of being exactly who it is that you are, there's very few things in life that will not go your way. But you got to be you. You got to be 100% you, because you're beautiful and people need you. I need you. So just, keep on loving.